Hi, my name is Dr. Jennifer Thomas Gehring. I am one of the lead instructors for Empire Medical Training, and I'm here to talk to you about the consultation that prevents complications. The consultation is actually the first safety protocol that you should always be performing. At this point with your patients, you want to discuss the risk, the reality, and record your patient. So let's talk about that a little bit further. The risk is assessing your patient, not only what their goals are and what they're hoping to achieve, but also understanding their medical history, understanding if they've had procedures in the past that haven't worked out the way they wanted them to, if they've had filler or if they've had Botox and did not get the outcome that they expected. We want to make sure that we understand that and can identify those. Number two is the reality. Sometimes people want things that we can't deliver. It's just unrealistic. And so you really want to have an appropriate conversation with your patients to what it is that they're expecting and what it is that we can truly provide for them. And lastly, we want to record. We want to record pictures. You want to record 90 degrees, straight on, 90 degrees, 45 degrees, 45 degrees. And in some instances, you'll even want the patient to do a video so you can catch their expressions with animation. So again, we're screening the whole patient and not just the treatment area. Everything is interconnected: anatomy, their medical history. So first, let's talk about the history, things that we really need to know. We want to know, have they ever had facial surgery before? Have they had any recent cough, cold, fever, any infectious areas on their face that it is that you want would be where you would want to be injecting? Have they do they have any allergies? Do they have and what medications they take? So as far as medications go, some patients are on anticoagulant, some patients are on Plavix or Apixaban, and those are medicines that we really want to be able to educate our patients that they're at a higher risk of having bruising. And if they're okay with that, then we can go ahead and proceed. Some of the procedures it is that we do, we rely on the patient's own body, their own immune status to be part of the healing process. And so patients that have been on recent steroids or immunocompromised are not going to be necessarily good candidates because they might not mount the response that we want them to have, or they might be at higher risk of an infection. And again, expectations. I always like to ask my patients, why now? Is there a wedding that you're preparing for? Is there, a graduation you're preparing for? But why now? Why now did you decide to come in for this treatment? And then also, is this timeline real? Is this timeline realistic? If they're going to be getting married in 2 weeks, is this really something that we should be doing now? This is something that we should have been doing months before. So setting up a realistic time frame. And also social downtime. Sometimes our patients aren't aware that there's risks of bruising, there's risk of swelling, that there's risk that, you can't be exposed to sunlight. And so really making sure that your patient understands those risks and have a reasonable understanding of the duration of the recovery period. And finally, what is the definition of success? What is the definition of success? What we might think is a successful treatment may not be what the patient thinks is a successful treatment. So we really need to collaborate and make sure that we are having the same goal. So some red flags that you should be aware of. So obviously, and I talked about this previously, but active infection or inflammation. Anybody who has serious allergies or anaphylaxis. Patients that may come in with body dysmorphia. So patients that my aesthetic eye doesn't meet their aesthetic eye. I don't find that I can be a good provider for them because we have different goals. And so it's okay sometimes to say no. And then if your patient is pressuring you, so occasionally you'll have patients that'll come in and they will demand things and they will tell you what to do. You're the practitioner, you're the clinician, you're the one who is creating the plan. Of course, it's collaborative, but they shouldn't be directing how you treat them. So questions you should always ask every new patient. What are you hoping will look different? What treatments have you had before? And again, any problems so that you can address those problems so that you know what to avoid. Is there any active rash or infection or dental work or vaccinations recently? And the reason because of that is that sometimes we know that the body, if it's had a recent infection or a recent vaccination, that they may have an autoimmune or an immune response that we are not prepared to deal with. Do they have any bleeding disorders, any anticoagulation, severe allergy, anaphylaxis? Are you pregnant or breastfeeding or trying to conceive? So these are very important questions to ask because patients, there are no FDA guidelines for these procedures that no one is willing to do the data on pregnant or nursing women to say that it's safe and it's FDA approved. Finally, what result would disappoint you? Even if the technique is technically correct, what is going to make you happy? What is going to make you feel that we have accomplished what it is we've wanted to achieve today? Know when the safest treatment is. Sometimes it's delay, referral, or no treatment. So common reasons to delay: infection or inflammation, recent dental procedures, or recent infection in the area that it is that we want to treat. Modify. So the bruising risk, medication conflicts, unrealistic downtime. So this is where your patient may come in and you need to say, you know what? You've got this big event, you're at a risk of having a bruise. So therefore, we're going to modify and do something different, or we're going to delay. Refer. Sometimes patients come in and they're like, I just hate this part of my face. Well, all of the skin tightening and all of the collagen stimulation I can do, their skin may just be too lax, and I will recommend surgical intervention at that point. Also, if they are requesting something that is unsafe or not indicated, or they feel that they want it, but in your clinical judgment, it won't look good and you won't be able to have a good outcome, then just decline. And that's one of the hardest things for us to do because we want to grow our practice, because we want to take care of the patients, but sometimes we just have to say no. The consult to clearance pathway. So this is our aesthetic consult. This is our aesthetic appointment where we are able to do our facial assessment and do our history and physical and skin exam and discuss the goals of outcome, use our risk filter to assess any risks and to plan as a relationship together with our patients and to consent our patients. This is a legal binding document that goes over all of the risks and the benefits, and it's incredibly important for legality that these are signed before you proceed. So clinical preference begins only after evidence-based screening clears the patient. Consent is not just a signature, it's a shared understanding between the two of you. So what is evidence-based and what is appropriate type of procedure for that area? What is the patient's preference in product selection and technique? What is the unknown? Everyone is going to react differently. Some people may bruise, some people may swell, some people may not. So you want to talk to them about what the unknown is. So no promise should be stronger than the biology can support. And lastly, Decline the treatment and preserve the relationship. Use a script that is firm and clinical and respectful. Your patients are going to appreciate that about you, that you are being open and honest with them, and offer a safer step or a step that doesn't have as much downtime. And always document this and educate your patients. So this is the PREVENT framework. Patient history is your P. Risk is your R. Expectations, your E. Visual exam, which is your photography and videography. Evidence versus preference. Patients don't always know what it is that they need. Know when needed, and always track with follow-up photos.